Welcome to the Connected Spirit Podcast, a space where the mystical and the human experience merge, where we explore what it really means to walk a spirit-led path. I'm Courtney Dawson, an ethical medium and mentor, and for as long as I can remember, I have felt the presence of the spirit world. But my journey hasn't been simple. It's been one of self-discovery, healing from religious and emotional trauma, navigating fear, judgment, and the loneliness that comes with embracing something the world doesn't always understand. This podcast is here to take what was once considered woo and bring it into the real lived experience of being human. Because mediumship isn't just something we do, it's who we are. Here we dive into the conversations no one else is having, breaking down misconceptions, exploring the unseen, and normalizing the journey of deep connection. We'll talk about the beauty and the struggle of being a medium. We'll laugh, we'll reflect, we'll go deep. And most importantly, we'll remember who we are, why we're here, and how spirit moves through us all. So if you've ever felt something more, if you've ever questioned the unseen, or if you're simply ready to embrace the fullness of your spiritual path, you're in the right place. Hey friend, welcome back to the Connected Spirit Podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Dawson. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a moment where you felt so clear, so aligned, so deeply certain that you were on the right path, only for someone else to question it, to plant seeds of doubt in there? Maybe it was a friend who gave you that skeptical look when you shared your vision. Maybe it was a family member who told you you need to be realistic. Maybe it was somebody in the spiritual community who made you feel like you weren't doing it right. And then suddenly that deep inner knowing, that soul knowing that you had, that confidence, that alignment, it feels fragile. And then you start wondering, am I being delusional? Am I making this all up? Maybe they're right. Maybe I need to rethink this. Maybe I should really pause for a moment. And that moment, that's where most people shrink. They start questioning themselves. They start looking for external validation. They start holding themselves back, not because they don't believe, but because they don't want to be misunderstood. But here's the truth, and I'm going to be honest with you like I always am. Not everyone can understand a vision that was not given to them. Spirit didn't give them the downloads or tell them what step was next. They didn't whisper to them like the way they whispered to you. And that means they're not supposed to get it. They don't have to understand it. But your job, it's not about convincing them. It's not about proving anything. It's to trust yourself, even when no one else does. That's what we're going to talk about today, because this is the moment that determines everything. Today, we're going to go deep into why being misunderstood is a spiritual initiation, how to stand firm in your knowing even when others don't believe in it, how to recognize when someone is projecting their own fears onto you, and how to fully release the need for external validation. So if you've ever felt unseen, doubted, or questioned in your spiritual path, this episode's for you. So let's drop into it. I want to tell you a story about a time that I felt completely misunderstood in my mediumship journey. I'd been listening to spirit. I was receiving their guidance, like super clear. I've been really stepping out of my comfort zone. I was trusting the process and moving towards the vision that spirit had given me. And then someone I deeply respected told me, "Are you sure about this? This seems risky. You're not ready. You haven't been doing this long enough. What are you thinking? Maybe you should have a backup plan." Even though I knew I was on the right path, even though I had received so much confirmations from the spirit world, for a moment, I completely doubted myself. I shrunk. But here's the thing. When someone you care about or respect questions you, it makes you wonder if they see something that you don't. In that moment, that's when I realized something huge. Not everyone can understand a vision that was not given to them. Let's be honest, not everybody wakes up one day and says, I want to be a spirit medium. I want to be a healer. I want to be able to share my spiritual gifts with the world. It is a soul calling. And that's what it is, a soul calling. Not every soul is going to understand this because they're not meant to. Spirit didn't show them the next step. Spirit didn't say, hey, this is for you. But what that means, they're not supposed to get it. And your job isn't to convince them. It's not. It's to trust yourself anyway, to keep trusting the spirit world. So let's talk about why people won't understand your path. And we're going to start looking at some of the root causes. Okay. So number one, people can only see from their own level of awareness. Someone who has never stepped outside of their comfort zone will always see risk, not possibility. Someone who has never trusted their intuition, does not have a connection with their spirit allies, guides, helpers, and inspirers are always going to question yours. Someone who has never built something for themselves will always think that your dreams are unrealistic. And here's the thing, their limitations are not your reality, so don't take it on as your own. So the next time that you have somebody, whether that's a coworker, a family member, a spouse, questioning you, making you doubt, instead of questioning yourself, I want you to take a moment, just pause and ask, is this coming from their own fears, or is this actually about me? Because most of the time it has nothing to do with you, nothing at all. So I want to share with you how you can actually stand firm in your inner knowing, in your soul calling, in your soul spirit-led purpose. So number one, there needs to be an energy shift. So from seeking approval to really standing in your truth, I want you to pause and ask yourself, if no one else had an opinion, what would I do? And you can take a moment and sit in reflection. Maybe you want to journal. Maybe you want to talk to a confidant about this. And think about this. If I fully trusted myself, how would I move differently? How would I feel? And as you lean into that, what is your body telling you? What is coming up? Number two, here's a soul level shift. I love this. It's so good. Releasing the need to be understood, because some people will misunderstand you because they're not meant to walk your path. They're not at the same level of awakening and receptivity to guidance from the world unseen. They're not even tapped into their own intuition. So how could they possibly understand what you experience and what you're going through? And for you, let go of the needing to have them get it. Because when you let go of that, you release their energy and all of those expectations and fears and doubts, and you put it back on them because it's theirs. And then I want you to watch how much freer you feel. Like it's so good. So good. It's like, wow, I am me. I can boldly and unapologetically step into my soul calling without having this extra energetic weight, stagnant weight on me. It's super powerful. So wherever you are, I want you to take a moment. Please, if you're driving, come back to this after. Close your eyes, breathe. Think of someone who's doubted you. Now ask yourself, was their doubt about me or was it about them? What if I trusted myself fully, even if no one else did? How much energy would I free up if I stopped seeking approval? And breathe. Let it sink in. Let that need for external validation just dissolve and collapse. And let your alignment be enough. If this landed with you today, I want to hear from you. Come say hi on Instagram or Facebook. My handles are @Medium Courtney Dawson. Send me a DM and tell me what's one thing you're ready to trust yourself on, no matter what others think. I read every message and I'd love to support you in this. And if you know someone who needs this reminder today, take a screenshot, share it to your stories, and tag me @Medium Courtney Dawson so I can reshare it. Let's spread this message. Let's spread this message together, because the more we talk about this, the more we heal. And if you love this episode, it would mean the world to me if you could take a moment to leave a review. That helps more people find this podcast and step into their power. Until next time, trust yourself, trust your path, and trust spirit. The Connected Spirit isn't just a podcast. It's a remembering of who we are, a remembering of our connection to spirit, and a remembering that we are never walking this path alone. Mediumship isn't just about speaking with spirits. It's about deepening the connection to our own spirit, to one another, and to the energy that moves through everything. So as you leave this space, ask yourself, what part of this conversation stirred something within you? What connection is spirit inviting you to strengthen? If this episode spoke to you, please share it, leave a review, and connect with me on Instagram @Medium Courtney Dawson, or visit my website @mediumcourtneydawson.com. Your presence in this community matters, because connection isn't just about what we seek. It's what we are. Until next time, trust your spirit, trust the unseen world, and trust that you are always, always connected.